Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin from Florals.com, and today I have another episode of Double Take for you. And Double Take is a series I started a little while ago in which I do double page layouts. So traditional 12 by 12 but double page, so it's two 12 by 12 layouts with a bunch of photos in some fun and unique designs. Today I'm featuring a bunch of photos, I think it's 5 total, from a trip my boyfriend and I took to the George Eastman House and Museum in Rochester, New York. That's where I went to school, and we finally got around to seeing this museum our senior year, but finally scrapbooking it, and it's got some really beautiful rich colors in it. There's like a lot of wood in the house, and there's a lot of chandeliers and amazing things. So I decided to pull out some of these beautiful papers from the Echo Park Flora #1 collection, and I just saw the other day that they're releasing Flora #2 very soon, and I'm very excited to see that come out. It has a different color scheme of florals, and if you guys didn't know, my blog is titled Gray Florals, as well as like all of my stuff, and I really love florals, so I'm really excited about this collection, as you can probably tell. So I pull out this beautiful one, which is just, it's so pretty. And I'm not one of those people who cares about cream and white. That part doesn't bother me. I can put cream and white on a layout. But the background of this floral paper isn't really cream anyway. It's more of just a tan, light tan color. Anywho, I also have this thin sheet of American Crafts cut-aparts, which I believe is designed by Pebbles. And I'm using my 2-inch punch that says Enjoy the Little Things, or my 2-inch circle punch to punch out a piece that says Enjoy the Little Things, because I wanted to create clusters in the bottom part as well as in the top part. I did not have a plan for this layout when I dove in. I just kind of went for it and wanted to see what would happen. So I pulled out a bunch of different colored things. I have these doilies from Paper Studio, which is sold at Hobby Lobby. They're clearancing these out, so I picked up all the colors I could find, of course. And I also have some matching tags in the pretty pastel pink, which is perfect because, like I said, this is very regal colored photo, so I'm trying to keep the more pastel and muted colors throughout. That way the photos can still shine without being overwhelmed by darker and regal colors like the deep browns and the deep greens. But I will accent with those later on. So I did cut out some stuff later on. As you guys can tell, this is a long process video. My double take videos will be for a while. And I definitely think they're longer because of the fact that I have to do 2 layouts. In designing something that's cohesive across 2 layouts, I don't know if you've ever done this before, but it's quite hard to plan that far ahead, especially when you haven't glued anything down yet. I glue a bunch of things down quite towards the end. As soon as I figure out the design, I decide to glue things down, but it did take me a while to figure that out. Because I had so many things I could have used on this layout. It's really hard to decide sometimes, but having this collection and the sticker sheet ready to go and knowing I wanted to use them on this layout helped build a color scheme relatively quickly. I went with that color scheme throughout the whole thing, and then it just wrapped itself up pretty quickly after I started embellishing. The embellishing always takes the longest part. I wanted to use washi tape on this layout because if you're new here, I like to use washi tape on every single layout, even if it's just a tiny 1-inch strip, because I'm trying to use up my washi stash. I know I'll never be able to use all of it, but I've been sending samples to friends that are into some bullet journaling and just trying to get rid of it. I just love buying it. It's cheap and the colors are so beautiful and the patterns are so beautiful and it's so inexpensive and all that jazz. I'm using this green 8.5 by 11 paper, soon to be shorter paper, to make a nice little panel on the left hand side. Since I have vertical photos, I wanted to pull more vertical color up, and that's how I did that. And now I have some awkward space right here in between these 2 photos, and I plan on building a cluster out there to remedy that. So now we don't have that awkward space, we have a nice rounded edge, which looks more appealing to the eye. And we're just going to decorate. I'm going to start in the right hand corner over here with the pink doily and the circle that says Enjoy the Little Things. And I'll trim that off once it's a little bit dry using my scissors. Just simply trim it off, and then I'll use that scrap of doily on the other side to bring in more of the pink. So now the blush tone pink is in 3 spots once I move that over there. You'll see in a minute. But I have the Flora #1 sticker sheet to the right, so if you see me pulling for that, that's what I'm doing. Currently during my process, I have no idea what I'm going to do next. This is when I start having a little meltdown because I know I'm filming and I don't want to waste time. And I know I want to get this layout done before it gets too late. Since I've been filming during the weeknights now, I find that I get tired more easily. So I like to do it as quick as possible. So now we have the blush in the 3 zones that I just mentioned, and I need to glue all these items down. But at least the photos are down. And I pull out my green and white twine, which has served me so well for having it on my desk for so long. I can actually see the cardboard barrel that goes with the twine, so that means I've been using it a lot, which is good. And I tie a small knot and bow around that tag. And now I don't know what I'm going to do next. I know that I don't know what I'm going to make my title, but I do know that I want to make a cluster down here. So I zoomed in a little bit on this section because I figured, 1, you guys like it when I zoom in a little bit more. 2, it'll help you see what I'm doing better. And I don't have a 3rd, so I don't know why I started counting out numbers. But I'm looking through all my stickers here, and I find these craft labels, which is perfect since I brought in that crafted doily at the top of that photo cluster in the right section of these photos. And I put that down, and that's going to be a good journaling spot. And then I also find these We Are Memory Keepers pink labels from their typecast collection. I don't have the typewriter, but if I did, I could use this on it. And I'm using, I think I use a couple of those on the layout, one later on as well. But I'm just embellishing a bunch of things. I didn't really have a plan, I just kind of went for it. I have all of these border stickers I've been trying to use up from October Afternoon and so many different manufacturers. And border stickers aren't usually my thing, especially when they're really not my style. I have a lot of vintage items. When I used to do scrapbooking early on in my career, I was into more vintage look, which I am not anymore, but I still like to use it for layouts like this. This has a vintage feel. Even the floral paper feels a little bit of vintagey. It doesn't have like vintage distressing or anything, but it just feels like the color scheme is a classic, and there's like a nice watercolor effect on the roses. I think that might be tulips. I'm not sure what kind of flower that is, but there's a nice effect on it where it feels like an old-timey sort of design. So now I'm working on a cluster in the top left. That's why I zoomed out relatively quickly. And I used a little bit of more of that same gold striped diagonal washi tape and a cork banner sticker. That's from Oriental Trading. That was one of my favorite purchases I've ever made from them. And it was like a set of 3 pages of cork stickers for $1, and they're all different shapes, so it's really, really awesome. I found these super old sticker set. It's pink, green, and a cream color with a bunch of border stickers, little stickers, label stickers, and all that. And they're super old, and I wish I remembered where they're from. I believe they might be Close to My Heart or Stampin' Up. I'm not 100% sure. I know I got them in a kit. I think I got them in a kit. Oh, you just saw my head. Usually you never see my head in my videos. Sorry about that. No one wants to see me. But I can't remember where the heck I got these. I usually remember where everything's from in my stash. And I can picture what it looks like too, which is really weird. I just can't remember who makes the kit. It might even be an off-brand, but there's nothing really on these stickers that tells you where they're from, because I probably took them out of their packaging, which is no surprise. I take everything out of its packaging for some reason. But I just stuck a bunch of those stickers everywhere. The border stickers, the little label stickers, they just add so much because it's the perfect color scheme. Even though it's not an exact match for the green, it still works beautifully. I pulled out one of my flare from the flare stash that I have off to the side camera there, and I'm also pulling out pieces from my resin pot, and I have so many resin and acrylic pieces I want to use. I pulled out a green swan from Click Kits, a globe from the Paper Studio, resin flowers that are just from like eBay and those overseas sellers, and I don't know if I pull out any more green items. I think I just pull out flowers for the rest of it because I've been using resin flowers on everything, and I think they might make my February favorites. Hopefully this goes up in February. I'm actually not sure when this is going up, but if you haven't watched my February favorites, if you're watching this in the future, definitely go watch that so you guys know what products I'm into. I was talking about vintagey items earlier, and this is one of them. I was a sucker for any sort of deal when my parents took me scrapbooking shopping back in the day, and I found these button K & Company, I think it's K & Company, K & Company border punch outs, and they're like old timey looking buttons, but it's like not the prettiest. But I decided to use one of those on this layout, and it works really well. And I'll have close-up photos and more information over on my blog in case you're interested in knowing where you can find these products. But for now, I'll just tell you where they're from, and you can head over there if you want to buy them. I usually have links to everything that's still available, as well as more details about the posts and the close-up photos, which I know a lot of people like to see. Now I'm just sprinkling the resin pieces all over the place. Resin flowers, resin globes, resin swans. That's a really interesting one that I purchased, but I'm adding another little journaling spot to the top right of that photo on the right hand page. And now I realize I should probably work on my title soon. I have a lot of items I want to use in my stash, and I'm not sure what the title should be quite yet. Later on I'll decide on a title, but for now I'm going to sift through a bunch of my supplies. Like I said before, I have a lot of supplies I want to use and I know I should use, but picking out what I actually use is the real challenge. I thought about bringing gold into this layout, but I figured I don't have any gold on this layout so far, so bringing it in and adding more gold elements will add a lot more work to my plate than I really need. So I decided no gold letters for the main portion. I do use a little bit of gold lettering, but that's okay. We love our gold letters. And right now I'm going to add some phrase stickers. These ones are the Simple Stories Simple Stories Snap. Simple Stories Carpe Diem Snap. There's so many word sticker sets in my stash. Getting them all straight's a little bit difficult. I know these ones are a little bit old, but it came with 8 sheets. How am I supposed to use 8 sheets of phrase stickers in like 2 years that I've had them? I actually have no idea when I picked those up, but I'm really glad I did. They're definitely a really utilized item in my stash, and they have really cute phrases, so that's the important part. Here is where I start thinking about the lettering. I figured gold will look nice because it's gold. Of course it's going to look nice. So I pull out some of my Pink Fresh Studio gold foiled stickers, and I'm going to cut a lot of this out. And I'm also using some of the 12 by 12 letter stickers that were on that sheet from Echo Park from the Flora collection. And that's essentially what I'm going to put down here. And I'm just going to glue all those down. And again, I cut most of this out because it's annoying. But it just says the George Eastman House and Museum. I add that at the end, which is a little bit untraditional. I wish I just stacked it all up on the right hand side, but I like the way it looks. It looks great in person, but this layout's almost done. I'm going to add a couple more bits, just a couple more things. Some resin flowers. I think about adding some, enamel dots or sequins. It's been a while since I actually filmed this. And finally doing the voiceover. I actually am using a microphone for this voiceover, so if you notice a difference in audio quality, please let me know if you guys like this or if you hate it. I can get rid of it and return it if you guys don't. But that's pretty much it for this episode of Double Take. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments if you want to see more of these, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!